Hey guys, this is an extremely late January wrap up. I gotta think what month we're even currently in. I have previously filmed this, but I didn't like it. It was a mess. So I've decided to redo it and try to quickly just go through my thoughts and get this up and out of here. We're just gonna jump right in. So the first books that we're gonna talk about are books that I was doing for like my secret TBR, my challenge of the month. I don't know how I'm going about this because I am learning I suck at vlogging and it's something I want to do, but I just am not good at it. I don't ever remember to get my camera out. And then this is no secret, I've said this before and I'm sure this relates to tons of people, but they just do it anyways and I don't. But I just hate editing videos. I film so many videos and then never do them simply because the idea of actually like filming and making videos and having the plan and doing all of it, I love it. I have so much fun. And then when it comes down to editing it and putting it all together, I put it off until it's way too late, hence my like 7 end of the year videos that I recorded and made and spent days filming and never put up a single one. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I have my whole year planned out for like secret TBRs or doing a challenge every single month, and I just don't know how I'm gonna go about it. So, January's was to read any of the books that I owned that were winners for the Goodreads Awards. Now, that's how these challenges will go. I am not in a place right now to want to or have the money. I mean, I could if I really wanted to, but I just am not going to go out and buy books for a specific video right now. One day that might be the case, but I just have a lot of books and I just want to get through them. So I was only picking books that I already owned that showed up. So I had 5. And one I had already read, but I actually didn't own it. But I had already read one, and that was Daisy Jones and the Six. I listened to the audiobook last year when it had come out. Thought it was fine. I don't think it was as good as Evelyn. I don't really know if I think it should have won, but you know, whatever. And then I had 4 on my shelves that I had but had not read. So I picked those books. So those are the ones we are going to go through and talk about first. Now, hey guys, this is an extremely late January wrap up. I gotta think what month we're even currently in. I have previously filmed this, but I didn't like it. It was a mess. So I've decided to redo it and try to quickly just go through my thoughts and get this up and out of here. Let's talk about one I didn't actually read. And that was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I believe this was the winner for Best Fantasy, maybe, I think. And I started reading this and I got to page, that's the hard thing about these clippy magnet ones because I don't know if it was page 13 or page 20. Either way, not very far. And I think I would like this book, and it might just be the timing, but it was just very far over my head. And so I put this book on hold at my library for the audiobook, whether just to listen to a bit of it to get me into the story so I could kind of wrap my head around it and then continue on physically reading it, or just listen to it and read along with it. I don't know yet, but I did not finish or really even start that one. But that one was on there. Next, another one I have not finished is Girl Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. This one for best nonfiction. I don't think they have self-help as a category, so I believe it was just nonfiction. Maybe there was self-help. I don't know. But the plan was I was reading a bit just like in the morning, and I was hoping to finish it. But I only got to part 1. The pages are really weird, but I mean, really, I just didn't read that much again. And I do have the audiobook on Scribd for this, and I had planned to listen to it, but again, I just didn't. I'm kind of in a weird place reading. I wouldn't say I'm in a slump because I'm still getting through a lot of stuff and listening to several audiobooks, but I'm just not feeling this big pull to read right now. So that's been difficult. Doing some things to try to work on and work through that. Anyways, let's do the ones that I did finish. So the first book I finished was for the category of best thriller, I would assume, and that was The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I gave this book, I read this book physically, yay me. I gave it, what did I give this book? Like a 3.5, probably. It was good. It wasn't great. I seen quite a bit of it coming, and I also just felt that like a lot of it was just kind of weird. I don't know how to describe it. It wouldn't say like the writing style is weird, but I just felt like a lot of the stuff happening was just like unnecessary. Like, I still don't understand how it helped the story or why it was there. I don't know. It was just kind of strange. But I do really like this. I get why people love this. I get why it won. I thought it was fun. It was a really good idea, if that's the right word. A really good... The thought of this book is really great, and I think that I will pick up more from this author. Hey guys, this is an extremely late January wrap up. I gotta think what month we're even currently in. I have previously filmed this, but I didn't like it. It was a mess. So I've decided to redo it and try to quickly just go through my thoughts and get this up and out of here. Next up, oh boy, just get ready to get your fingers going down in the comments. Just know, okay, not gonna go on a rant, but just know that this community is about reading, and we all should know that everybody has different tastes. Not everybody is going to have the same opinions, the same likes and dislikes, the same views, the same lifestyles, etc., etc. So I don't believe just because this is a great representation and that this book deserves, and this that this type of representation is something that is needed. I believe that, but I just did not like this book at all. And I don't think that it deserved the hype that everybody gave it, and I don't think that this deserved to win Best Romance. I did not like Red, White, and Royal Blue. This book took me over a month to read / listen to. I physically read to page 106, and then I switched over to the audiobook because Scribd had the audiobook, and it was not good. I don't know. Let me try to think of a positive. Well, the positive is just the representation, like I said. I'm not against same-sex relationships or anything like that. That is not why I didn't like this book. It's not because, like, if I was gonna be offended by two men and a lot of descriptive sex scenes, like I never would have got the book and I never would have read it. So that's just obviously not it. I just felt like these characters were snotty and self-righteous. Is that the term I want to use? They were bland. They were unrealistic. I mean, you can say unrealistic because I have no idea what it would be like to be in any kind of like a political life / world. But even then, they just seemed so unrelatable and so privileged. I mean, obviously they are, but it's just like, goodness. And so immature for their age. And just the relationship to me just seemed, I don't know, I just didn't enjoy the way that it was done. I felt like some of these characters, I did vlog some of this, and I was very heated in a piece, and I'm not gonna put it in because all I'm gonna say is there's a part in this, there's a character in here who is a woman who I feel like the way that she speaks to Alex, is that even his name? I think that's his name. The son of the president. In some of the parts, if the roles were reversed and it was a man speaking to a woman that way, everybody would be freaking out and talking about how, just how horrible that is, and I believe Casey would be getting a ton of flack for it, but because it was a woman saying it to a man, I feel like people didn't think twice about it. And that's all I'm going to say. We don't have to talk about it. If you want to write me down in the comments, go for it, but I'm not going to engage. So anyways, that's just my feeling about it. And yeah, I originally was thinking I would give this 2 stars because, you know, 2 is not for me, but I'm really leaning towards like a 1, maybe a 1.5, because I don't have the hate that I had for some other books that I've given ones in the past, but I really disliked this. 1, if you are new here, 1s is how I classify as giving a 1 is I say it's something I would never want my daughter to read. And I can't say that because she could like this. There could be, you know, parts in it that she likes. But yeah, so like a 1.5, maybe a 2 at best. But no thank you from me. Next, let's do this part quicker. These are all the books that I just strictly listen to just because I have these 2 shelves here. This one and this one are just books that I have no desire to. The UPS man is here. Hold on. Gus! So yeah, I have books that I have no desire to really physically read. I just want to listen to the audiobooks and kind of get them over with. They're the books that I'm not that excited about, but I just pick them up as audiobooks come available. So they just have, there's no plan. They're just when they pop up. First, and it was actually the first book that I completed of 2020, was Nicholas Sparks' The Guardian. I had tried to listen to this in the past and just didn't care for it for some reason. I must have not been in the right place because I loved this book. Call me whatever you want for liking things like this and not liking things like this, but I guess that's just the type of person I am. I just have a good time with Nicholas Sparks. Again, he's kind of like Jodi Picoult, that I just really enjoy listening to them. They're stories that I really enjoy being told, and just, they don't take effort. They're just cheesy and just like bring my heart so much joy. So yeah, this is just basically quickly about, this is about a woman and a man getting together. The woman's husband has died. New man was an old friend. There's another man and some crazy stuff goes on, and who's she gonna choose? And there's a dog, it was just a good time. I gave this a 5 stars. Unashamedly, I gave it 5 stars. Then I completed 13 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl. I had read up to page 47 for, did I read this for a readathon or just read this just because? I know it's for a readathon, but I can't remember which one. Back in December, November. Oh, my foot's asleep. Ooh, October or November? I was trying to refer to readathon. Anyways, and I just realized that I really liked it, but I probably would do better just finishing it, listening to the audiobook, even though it is so short. I got much more out of it listening to it than I did reading the 100 pages. What did I just say? 50 pages that I physically read. I know that this is a book that is controversial and a lot of people don't like because of just the movement of body positivity that is going on right now, which I am not opposed to, but as being a bigger woman, this didn't offend me. I found it to be very realistic and the thoughts and feelings that I have had a lot of. And basically it's just about a girl from when she's very young to when she gets older, how she views herself as a woman, how she thinks other people see her, and it was just pretty raw. And I've heard that Mona Awad, you know, she just put out that book last year, Bunny, is that all it's called? I heard that's pretty written the same way, just she's pretty in your face, I think, and so I appreciated it and I liked it and I will pick up more that she writes. Then I listened to I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I didn't think I was really going to like this book that much. Oh, sorry. 13 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl. I believe I gave 4 stars. I really didn't think I was going to like this book, but I really enjoyed it. I believe I gave it 4 stars, maybe 3.5, 4 stars, somewhere in there. It was just really interesting. It's about these 2 twins whose mother, they're both artists, and their mother was an artist, and their mom dies, and it goes back and forth in their perspectives of their life with her, and then after she's gone, and this art school, and I just really enjoyed how the perspectives were written. I can't think of what their names are. Let's see. Noah is the boy in this, and then Jude is the girl. Noah, he sees life literally in art. It's just so descriptive in the way, like, it will talk about he's sitting, I don't know, I even can't remember this happened, but he's like sitting in a classroom looking out a window and he sees like, I don't know, elephants jumping out of trees, or when he's talking about sitting with his family at dinner and it's a really tense conversation and his sister is saying something and she's really angry about it. He says, you know, can't you see the snakes slithering off of the table and like all this stuff, because her words are so powerful. He just sees like that. And it was just so interesting, I think, especially to listen to. I just really liked it a lot. There was a lot of really hard stuff. It talks a lot about grief and family dynamics. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it, and I was glad that I finally got to this, because I have had it for a very long time. And lastly, I have Eleanor and Park. I have had this book on my radar forever. My sister-in-law gave it to me in December, and then I read it in January because the audiobook was instantly available. And I had wanted this so bad by not even knowing what it was. I just heard a lot of people talking about it, and I didn't even like really make the connection that it was Rainbow Rowell. And so anyways, I really liked this book as well. I think I gave this one 4 stars, and it's about this relationship between Eleanor and Park. Eleanor is a kind of a misfit redhead, bigger girl who just comes from a really hard home, has an abusive, it's not even stepdad, I don't think they're married, but maybe they are. She's just, I don't know, she has a really, really, really hard life. I felt so much for Eleanor in this book. I mean, it is just pretty soul-crushing to hear the things that she has to go through. Anyway, she somehow, not I remember, but through the bus, basically, meets Park, who is like popular, but not really. He's popular because, I shouldn't say he's popular. He's not hated because in elementary school he dated the like most popular girl in school for like a week, and so everybody kind of gives him some slack, and but they still kind of bully him. Anyway, so they sit by each other on the bus. They connect through music and comics, and they start to fall in love with each other. And Park is an Asian American, I believe. I believe his dad is American and his mom is Asian of some kind. But anyways, they're an unlikely relationship, and it just goes through, I don't know, goes through that whole thing basically. And sorry, I keep shaking the table if you notice. I apologize. I have my legs crossed. But yeah, I mean, this ending, it has an ambiguous ending. Is that the right word? Again, I am so bad about terminology. Like, it doesn't end, you can kind of interpret it whatever you want. Is that called an ambiguous ending, I think? And at first I hated it, and then I loved it. That's how I always am with those types of endings. Like, you get so frustrated because it feels like it doesn't finish, but then my heart kind of loves it to be able to make it my own plan, but I still so badly want to know. I would read a sequel to this. I kind of feel like the relationship was extremely rushed and did not get worked through, but at the same time, when I thought about it, thinking back to my own time, being in high school, it's probably exactly the same way as like I would fall in love with another boy at times. But I guess in the sense of, because sometimes that really bothers me, you know, but I guess when it just has to be done the right way. Like, yes, it was rushed, but at the same time, I feel like their circumstances made it so it wasn't so bad. I don't know. I'm not sure how I can put that into right words, but I really enjoyed this. I'm late to the game, very, very late to the game, but I'm really glad that I read that one. Now, quickly, I have to hurry. My daughter's going to get off the bus in like 10 minutes. So, I have books here that I DNF'd, and all of them were audiobooks. So, let's start with this one first. Technically, this one I read in December, and I forgot to include it in my wrap-up, but I listened to 19, I always, whenever I look at the bag, it says 19 Catherines. An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. I went through all my John Greens, basically, in 2019. It was weird, all in, like, the last few months. And I really did not like this one. Like I said, I DNF'd it. I'm not even sure at what point I DNF'd it, but it was just so boring. It's basically about a boy who only dates Catherines, and he was really in love with this last Catherine that broke up with him, and he's like this prodigy and extremely smart, so he's going on a road trip to write up a thesis about why he loves Catherines and why this Catherine broke up. I don't know. It was weird. John Green's books are all exactly the same. Well, not all of them. Most of them are the same in the sense that it's a group of boys with one girl who's usually like a manic pixie dream girl. This one you don't actually get to see the Catherine, at least as far as I got into, so I don't know if she was. But it's always just one girl and a group of boys. And the group of boys, I swear, are the same boys in every story. In An Abundance of Catherines, there's 2 boys. And the main character always feels like the same person to me. And then there's always, from Paper Towns, there's Q, I believe is what his name is. And I love Q. so much. I swear there's a version of him in every single group of those boys. But, I mean, think about it. You have Paper Towns, which was the group of boys and the girl. 2 boys and a Catherine. Even in Let It Snow, in John Green's part, it's the group of boys and 1 girl, and I swear that is the exact group from Paper Towns. I believe. I swear even they're both named Q in that or something like that. Anyways, but yeah, just not for me. It was so boring, and I had no idea what was even the point of this book, so I just said, no thank you. Oh, and Looking for Alaska. I just looked on the back, and it sparked my memory. Group of boys and Alaska. So I just feel like that's all John Green knows how to write. I have now Turtles All the Way Down. We'll see if that continues on in the trend. Next, we have Next by Michael Crichton. My husband loves Michael Crichton, and he really wanted me to read this book. I got to page 104 listening to the audiobook, and the synopsis of this sounds incredible, and I wanted to love this so much. It's kind of like a sci-fi. Okay, let me just read you this thing. It says, is a loved one missing some body parts? Are blondes becoming extinct? Is everyone at your dinner table of the same species? Humans and chimpanzees differ in only 400 genes. Is that why a chimp fetus resembles a human being? And should that worry us? There's a genetic cure for drug addiction. Is it worse than the disease? We live in a time of momentous scientific leaps, a time when it's possible to sell our eggs and sperm online for thousands of dollars and to test our spouses for genetic maladies. We live in a time when 1/5 of our genes are owned by someone else, and an unexpected person and his family can be pursued cross-country because they happen to have certain valuable genes within their chromosomes. Anyways, it's like there's so many different perspectives, but like the only thing I think it was like timelines, but it's all happening at the same time. But there's like, okay, stories. There's like 6 different stories happening. Oh crap, my battery's gonna die now. But yeah, and then it's just like, I can see how they all mesh, but they're so separate and just confusing. And I thought this would be like some fun sci-fi, but really this was just a science journal that was so smart and over my head that I couldn't even begin to comprehend. So we were done with that one. Let's see if I can hurry. My 3rd time trying to listen to The Host, and it is ever long. I got to page 80, and I just think I'm done with this one. I just cannot. I cannot get into it. So there's that. And lastly, we have Burn for Burn by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. Again, I started listening to this. I could not stand the high school drama bitchiness of these girls. Sorry, that's just what I hate about YA. I cannot do books like that. And then I read the back, and then I second guessed myself and thought maybe I should read it because this sounds so good. But I just said no, I cannot, I will not. I'm just going to be done with it. And that is everything that I read. Let me know how your 2020 is going. Mine's really strange. I don't know what to think of it, honestly. But I'm so grateful to be here. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I love you all, and I'm going to try to be better this year. I keep saying that, but really and truly, I'm really trying to be better. So yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Bye!